welcome back to the third round or fourth game of our playoff matchups here. As we're going with Virginia and Baylor, we've got 3 of the 4 final 4 figured out. But now we're going to see if Baylor can continue their quest to defend their championship after losing the conference championship game to West Virginia. Let's see if they can turn around and defeat Virginia. It's hard to say who the favorite is in this one. Baylor just dropped a game. Virginia's been exciting. Virginia did lose in their conference championship as well to Florida State. So it's really hard to say what to make out of this game and these two teams as we have Kelso and Fields facing off, 2 of the best quarterbacks in the nation, squaring off again. And this is to see who's going to move on to face Utah in the second round. Hard to say which direction this will go, but I'm looking forward to another exciting game after that Auburn and Notre Dame barn burner that ended with Auburn getting a 37-34 victory in the final seconds over Notre Dame. So anyway, let's get down to the field and kick this one off and see which team continues their quest for a championship. Virginia's really hungry as Kelso's been here. He came back for his senior year specifically to try and get a championship after playing in the championship his sophomore year, getting to the Final Four last year, and ultimately losing. But he wanted to come back and get that championship. And so I've got to think everyone's coming in fired up for this game. So let's get down to the field and see who. Well, it's not gonna get rid of this ugly graphic. Okay, let me pause this here because we need to restart. Okay, sorry about the technical difficulties there. We're back streaming this game. We just had a funky graphic that kind of got stuck on the screen there. So let's kick this one off and see who pulls it out. Looks like we're going to have a rainy day. Well, here in Virginia is what it says, but 71 degrees, 11 mile per hour winds and rain. So let's see, is it going to be Baylor or are we going to see Virginia move on to Utah as Virginia starts with the ball? So let's see if they're able to get something going on their opening drive as they get a couple nice plays. And Kelso throws incomplete on first down there. Gets sacked there. He had a wide open receiver there on the left side, but he gets sacked by Atchison, loses 8 yards. That's a corner blitz. And they're going to be 3rd and 18 from their own 21-yard line after a penalty that's going to put them to 3rd and 13. And Kelso gets sacked again. And Baylor's really bringing this pressure from the corners. That's Webb, the cornerback, getting a 7-yard sack, back-to-back sacks for Baylor against Virginia. And Jamie Fields and the Baylor Bears are going to start with the ball as they go up the middle, but there's going to be a holding penalty on Baylor. 1st and 20. Going to try and run the ball again, but that's Kalua. He gets nothing doing there, just a yard on 1st down and 20. Fields looking for Rogers, moving on a post pattern over the middle, but misses him. And then he has wide open Patrick Gay on the right side, and he hits him for 41 yards. Gay gets a lot of yards after the catch on that one. He was wide open on that side of the ball. And then we got Williams, 7 yards on 1st down as Baylor pushes into Virginia territory. Kalua gets 9 yards to follow that up and a 1st down. We're down to the 27-yard line. And then Kalua goes another 3 yards. So 2nd and 4.5 or so. Fields looks for Gay again, and that ball is incomplete. So 3rd and 6, they need to get that 1st down. And in traffic, Emory breaks up the pass, and Baylor is going to have to kick a field goal. And they miss. So Virginia gets the ball back. They catch a break there. some good offense by Baylor, but they're not able to come away with any points. And now Virginia on the other side of the ball. Baylor's really playing stiff defense, and Kelso and company's not able to move the ball, though Kelso does finally hit Toth for 22 yards, the fullback, and they get a first down and move into Baylor territory. And Kelso had his tight end open, but we're on a rainy day. This doesn't bode extremely well for these two exciting quarterbacks to be playing in the rain like this. We're going to have a lot of drop balls, inefficient passes. That ball gets broken up, and Virginia gets stopped again from getting their yardage. And Baylor, that's going to be, he gets stopped at the 1, but that's a huge return for Baylor, and they're going to push it through and get the first points of the game. Tershawn Williams gets a 1-yard run for the score, and Baylor gets on the board first with 6:43 left to play in the first quarter, and Virginia's going to get the ball back, and they're going to get a good return of their own up to their own 44-yard line where Kelso and company are going to start. Kelso drops back, looks to hit Walsh, but he is triple covered there and not able to get anything going. And then Horn goes for no yards, 3rd and 10. Let's see if Kelso can do something, work some kind of magic. And Kelso gets sacked for the 3rd time today by Ziegler, and that's going to stall another drive for Virginia, and they're going to have to punt from their own 40 back to Baylor. But they get a touchback. So Baylor's going to start at the 25. We're looking at Kalua again, 7 yards on the outside, and Baylor really has been running the ball well, not relying too extremely much on Jamie Fields and company, but we're here in a rainy game, so might have to run the ball more than expected, and Fields incomplete over the middle there. He drops back again, looking for Patrick Gay, and Gay's able to make that catch for another 31 yards, and they move down deep into Virginia territory at the 27-yard line, and Fields finds his tight end, gets another first down, and we're going to run to the outside, Kalua again, but he gets stuffed this time for a loss, loses a yard, and Fields drops back on 2nd down, and looking over the middle to Gay, but it gets broken up, another incompletion. So not very efficient for the quarterbacks today, as Fields gets sacked on his 3rd down try to negate getting into the end zone. And Baylor missed a field goal earlier. They don't. Rodriguez hits this one. So their second field goal try goes through, and Baylor goes up with a 10-0 lead, kind of built on just a great punt return. But Virginia's really got to answer here on this drive. It's been difficult to get anything going for Kelso, but he does finally find Southard, but he gets negated by a penalty again. Horn, on 2nd down, he gets maybe 3 yards and doesn't get the first down, and then Kelso gets sacked by Stephen Green, so that's another defensive back coming in for Baylor. They're bringing pressure in a lot of different ways, and that's 3 sacks from their defensive backs of Baylor on Kelso, and they're out of sorts right now. Virginia's out of sorts. They're not able to get anything really moving, complete very many passes. This rainy day, slippery balls has made it really difficult, and Fields completes ones to Marks. So it looks like Baylor's kind of going with shorter passes and the running game, which is boding well for them, as Kalua goes for 8 yards to get to 2nd and 1 as they're driving deep into Virginia territory again. They move up, get a first down there at the 31-yard line. Fields drops back again, looking for that long pass to Rogers, but that's incomplete. Here we go on 2nd down. Fields looking to the outside to avoid the sack, but Virginia gets called on an unnecessary roughness, and so Baylor's going to get the yardage anyway, as Fields looks for Gay and not able to hit him. Fields drops back again on 2nd down, across the middle to the tight end, but not able to hit on that one either. And so on 3rd down, he's looking for Gay. Nope, not able to hit him. It's incomplete and broken up. So Baylor's going to have to try for another field goal, but they get up. It's, they're a 2-score game at this point, up 13-0 on Virginia. Virginia really just hasn't been able to get much working on defense as we move to 12 minutes, 40 seconds left in the second quarter, as Kelso finally is able to find Bowling for 29 yards, move into Baylor territory. They really got to get some points on this drive to kind of take away some of this momentum that Baylor's had on offense. As Southard finally makes an acrobatic catch on the outside. I mean, that guy's definitely going to be playing on Sundays. Gets him down to the 1 yard line, and Jack Horn is going to finish off the drive, get Virginia on the board, and we finally got Kelso making some moves. I mean, Virginia's only got 100 yards of offense so far in this game for a team that averages over 600. I mean, both of these teams average over 600 yards of offense a game. So we were expecting fireworks, but the rain seems to have thrown a factor into this game that's kind of limiting the offensive production as Jamie Fields and company look to get to work again, and they're just running the ball. They're going strong on the run with Kahlua, but there's been a lot of penalties that have negated a lot of decent work as Fields looks for Pierre over the middle, not able to hit him, and Virginia's going to get the ball back with 9:30 left in the second quarter. And that's going to be Jesus Van gets 7 yards, or Jesus Van. And Kelso drops back looking for Southard, and he hits. I mean, he's just got to go for Southard every time, it seems like, because Southard's really making some great catches in this game as Jesus Fan goes for 7 yards, gets to 2nd and 2. Kelso drops back, looking for Southard again, and he misses. So Horn on 3rd down goes to the outside, and they're not able to get it. They're going to go for it on 4th down. They get 2 yards, but it's just shy. Fourth down, and they miss it. They come up just short of the 1st down, and Jamie Fields and Baylor is going to take over with decent field position, and that was a nice stop by their defense, even though holding kind of negates some stuff and pushes them back. 3rd and 20, Fields looks for Gay, and that's going to be incomplete, and Baylor's going to have to punt. So Virginia gets another chance as we start winding down in the first half here. We got to think that Kelso and company's got to start moving the ball. It looks like they're looking to maybe run the ball more, but they got to stop these unsportsmanlikes and penalties that keep negating good plays from their running backs or from Kelso. They've had a few taken back now as Kelso gets sacked again from the cornerback position. That's Atchison again, losing 10 yards. So that's the 4th sack now from the Baylor DBs as they're bringing pressure in a variety of ways and looking at stopping Kelso in some unconventional ways, and it's succeeded so far. That's the 5th sack on the day, and 4 of them have come from the defensive backs. As Fields and company get started again, that's Williams on the outside for 8 yards to push them to 3rd and 1, and they are going to get the 1st down on 3rd and 1 from Kahlua with a 6-yard gain. And Baylor running the ball. They're playing. They've adjusted their game plan, it seems, for this rain. They're running the ball a lot more as Kahlua gets another 5 yards on 1st down. 2nd and 4. It looks like Kalua's going to get 3. They're going to come up just short, 3rd and inches from the 29. And Ulrich is going to move for 4 yards and get that 1st down for Baylor. They're pretty deep at the running back position. They've got a few guys that can play. Fields drops back, another incomplete pass. This hasn't been quite the fireworks display on offense so far in this one that we expected, as Baylor looks to open up a lead. He completes to Gay for another 1st down, and Baylor's going to get down to the 5-yard line, 6-yard line, and that's going to be Gay on the outside. Does he hit him? Yes, he does. Gay gets across the goal line for a touchdown on a 7-yard catch from Fields to put Baylor up 20-7, and we're really winding down here. That's a nice return for Virginia, but Kelso and company, they've really got to get something going here with only a minute to play. They really need to get some points, and they're going to try and go long, looking for Walsh. Kelso's not able to hit him. Kelso's only 5 of 12 in this game, and he gets sacked again, this time by Duval Ricketts. That's going to be the 6th sack of the game for Baylor, and they really have come out with a good game plan to stop Kelso and company, as Kelso just looks out of sorts. He's not comfortable in the pocket, And he does hit Van, but they're going to have to punt as he doesn't get a first down. Baylor's going to get the ball back, 10 seconds left. That's going to end the half, I've got to imagine. 2 seconds left. Yeah. So we're going to go into the third quarter. Baylor up 20-7. Got to think there's got to be some adjustments by Virginia at halftime because they haven't managed to get much going, and they're getting a lot of pressure on Kelso, and it's kept him out of sorts, and this rain hasn't helped as well. So it's just kind of a bad series of events for Virginia. But Baylor, really, their defense has played great in this game, done a great job at negating Kelso and company. Southard's got a couple great acrobatic catches, but Kelso hasn't been able to get anything going, and he's looking over his shoulders at this point, which is great for the Baylor defense as Baylor keeps marching down the field with the running game. And then that's Fields finally completes one to Rogers for 12 yards. And they're pushing into Virginia territory again. And that's Gay out on the outside for 14 yards from Fields. And now they're opening up the passing game. They spent kind of the first half running a lot. And now they're really varying things up. And even the Virginia defense is off balance because they're getting gains through the air, on the ground, in this drive, so it's hard to predict what'll come, even though, I mean, Fields is only 11-25 for 165 yards in this game, no touchdowns, but Baylor has put themselves in good positions, but Fields looks to hit his receiver Collins, and it gets picked off in the end zone by Weiss, and so Virginia's going to get another chance here. Kelso and company need to get stuff going, and he's got a wide open Southard, but he can't come down with the ball. Oh my gosh. And then Virginia tries to run to the outside, and he gets tackled in the end zone. That's going to be 2 more points for Baylor to put him up 22-7. And Fields looking to move things again as they get the ball back after that safety, and that's just real tough sledding for Virginia. After getting that pick in the end zone, I mean, I guess you can look at it like they ultimately limited Baylor to 2 points instead of 7, but Baylor's got the ball back again, and they seem to be moving the ball well as they get to 3rd and 1 after a 6-yard completion to Gay from, oh no, he's got his tight end wide open across the middle, and he's going to go to pay dirt. Nobody was on him, and that's going to put Baylor up pretty big on Virginia. It's been a tough day for Virginia. Just hasn't been able to get anything really working. In case Kelso's been, kind of just looking over his shoulders. They've gotten a lot of pressure on him from unconventional ways, and Kelso's struggled in this game. I'll be honest. He's really had a hard time in this one. Now they're starting to run the ball, and perhaps they should have been doing that more in this rain to establish Kelso a little bit more. Because it's going to be a little bit inefficient in kind of a down rain like this. Guys are going to drop balls. Passes are going to slip out of quarterbacks' hands, even from the best of them. And now finally, see, after opening up the running game, or opening up the passing game with the running game, Kelso finally finds himself with some space. After Van and company gets a few good gains on the ground, finds some space and finds Southard. That's the classic connection there. Kelso to Southard, and they get that touchdown, long touchdown for Virginia to put this back in a 2-score game. But Baylor gets the ball back, and they've been controlling the ball pretty well as Fields completes to Marks for 8 yards, 3rd and 1. Let's see if they can complete this first down, and they do, and that's going to be to Mays for a first down. Fields and company, they're going to look to get the ground game working again with Williams. 2 yards on first down. Fields drops back again. He's looking over the top, and he's not going to be able to hit Collins on that one. 3rd and 22 for Baylor, and that's going to be broken up by Weiss, and Virginia's going to get the ball back. So they've started playing some good defense. Now if they can just kind of stabilize and play offense and get moving a little bit, balance things with some running game a little bit, because Kelso's been inefficient today. 16-35, I believe he is. Kelso looks to move again, and now they're getting back-to-back completions. Jesus Van pushes into Baylor territory, and Virginia's moving the ball again. And here we go. Now we're finally starting to see the Kelso we're used to seeing. That's 3 completions in a row for Kelso as Van moves forward and gets them another 9 yards and a first down. And here goes Horn, this time for 13 yards, down to the 15-yard line. Kelso drops back, and he's going to get sacked again. That's number 7, this time from Roddick on Baylor, and that's number 7 on the day for this Baylor defense. And that really, I think, is the big difference in the game. They've gotten a lot of pressure on Kelso, and he hasn't been comfortable back in the pocket at all today. But, oh, no, he misses Southard. Southard was open on that play, too. But Virginia able to get some points, push it to 29-17, and they look to be making a comeback. They've played a lot stronger in this third quarter than they have in the first half. Virginia really has controlled this quarter outside of that safety that they had early on, but let's see if Fields and company can answer. They complete, that's Fields. He completes one to Collins, gets 14 yards, and that's a nice gain. And then we're going to move to Williams again. See that pass opening up the run for Baylor, and they've ran the ball well. Fields has been a little inefficient, but they're catching passes. As that pass is incomplete. 3rd and 2, are they going to be able to get the first down? 3 yards from Kalua, and he does get the first down at the 45-yard line for Baylor. Fields looking to the outside, incomplete, broken up by Dean. That connection hasn't worked out very well, Rogers and Fields today. But passing in general hasn't worked as well as it typically does. But Fields and Baylor have been able to get it working a little bit better, and I got to think a lot of it has to do with they're opening up a lot of stuff with the run, and they're able to get stuff going on the ground game, put them off balance as Bruce Richardson breaks through and gets a sack against Fields there to put him at 3rd and 16 for Baylor as Virginia brings the pressure again, and he's got 3 guys on him over there in the corner. Fields tries to find him, doesn't hit. They're going to have to punt and get a touchback. Virginia gets the ball back again, and they've played a lot better in the second half, but things kind of got away. They got 2-3 scores down to Baylor in that first half, and now they're playing from behind, but they do seem to be playing a lot better in the second half, and if they can manage to pick a few things up and get some more points, especially if they can get a touchdown here on this drive, we've got a really exciting game as they do push into Baylor territory on a big pass from Kelso. They're trying to move 3rd and 1. Van gets 3 yards, not quite getting there. Kelso looks to hit his tight end, and he misses. So Virginia decides to punt from the 32 rather than try for a field goal. I got to think maybe they should have tried for the field goal there instead of pushing the territory, but Fields and company gets the ball back at their own 7-yard line. Rush by Williams, gets 1 yard, 3rd and 9. They're going to try and run it again, and does he get there? That's going to be 8 yards from Kalua, but he doesn't quite get the first down, and Baylor's going to have to punt again back to Virginia. So 7:31 to play. Virginia's got the ball back, decent field position. They got to get some points. They didn't try for the field goal from the 32 and punted instead and pushed Baylor deep into territory, and then they held on defense. So maybe that ended up being a good choice, playing that field position game. But I got to think points would have been good. And Kelso drops back, and that ball gets picked off by Trammell, and that's going to be returned all the way to the Virginia 23-yard line. And I got to think a lot of this pressure has got things really in Kelso's head, and he has just not been as efficient as we're used to him being. I think that early pressure that Baylor put on, they gave some different looks, did some different blitzes, did some different packages, got a lot of pressure from the DBs, and Kelso's not been in good sorts since then. And now we are looking at Baylor's pushing deep into Virginia territory again, and if they get a score here, I got to think this game's all but over, and they do. Fields looks to hit Juan Collins. He hits him in the corner, and they get another touchdown, and that's going to put Baylor up 36-17 with 3:34 left to play in this game. So it's been exciting, and Virginia did look like, I mean, the game does seem closer to me than what the score indicates at this moment. There's just been, when Virginia finally did start moving the ball, that just a few bad breaks here and there, interceptions, turnovers, penalties. But give credit to Baylor. They've came out with a really great game plan, established the running game, allowed that to open up the pass, and getting points on the board, which is forcing Virginia as the 8th sack of the day against Kelso. From Schumacher happens here on second down, putting him on 3rd and 16. But you got to think that Baylor's came out with a really great game plan in this one. Run the ball, establish it. Don't rely too much on the pass, even though you've got Jamie Fields, who's one of the best quarterbacks in football. Just, let your running backs establish things. And Kalua and Williams have done a great job getting things established, allowing things to open up for Fields to hit some of those passes to Gay and company in his receiving cores, and they've done well. And then on the other side of the ball, 8 sacks for Baylor. It's going to be hard to overcome that for any team, as Baylor once again is pushing deep into Virginia territory. So Baylor, they got that late touchdown. We were a 2-score game, and now, it's really opened up, and the final margin is going to look a lot wider than what I think it was. I do think Virginia really had a chance. Maybe that fumble that they lost, picking the end zone. There are a few plays that if they could have extended those drives a little bit, or maybe even gotten some points on that field goal where they tried to kick from, they punted from the 32, and it looked like it might have been a good decision as Kelso drops back and throws yet another pick. And, yeah, you got to think he's all out of sorts. He's been sacked 8 times, 2 interceptions. It's been an inefficient, rainy game. It's been a tough game for Virginia and the Cavaliers, but congrats to Baylor. 43-17 win over Virginia, and they're going to move on to face Utah in a rematch of last year's championship. So we're not going to get the same championship game that we got last year. We're going to get a rematch of Baylor and Utah in the Final Four, and FSU versus Notre Dame, and we'll be tuning into all those games, those 2 games on Wednesday, and we'll plug through and get through to the championship here. So congrats on a great season. Bummer to not see Kelso get that championship he so craved. That's what he came back for. But he is going to have a long career, I expect, on Sundays in the Pro League. And he's been, record-breaking quarterback. But Fields and company get it done. And congrats to Baylor for moving on to the Final Four. And thanks again for tuning in. We'll be back on Wednesday to stream the semifinals. So tune in then. And it's been a great, exciting playoffs. Some good games here. At least one of them were really exciting and came down to the last minute. But I'm excited to keep this going and see where the rest of the playoffs head.